we've got a dog who loves to retrieve.
Got a dog who loves to retrieve.
Love the retrieve. All we're going to do is we're going to pop that one in there. We're going to let her go get that one. Super
now,
girl,
the other thing about this,
girl.
who's spotting that we've added a layer here?
Magic.
That we've made it clear that it's about retrieving the tennis ball, and then we're putting the tennis ball in a ball pit. Now, what is that similar to? That's similar to your dog retrieving the thing that you want them to retrieve, not the many other things that are in the environment. And when we're talking real life environments, heavy cover, there is plenty for them to be choosing to retrieve, and we want them to retrieve a specific thing.
So the other thing I would say to you guys is then I'll play a game with just that ball.
Yeah.
And the reason I'll play a game with just that ball is it's very easy for her. She would get quite quickly fixated. Do you see how she could be quite easily frustrated by that? So I wouldn't necessarily let that become a game, because a bit like you had, Nikki, with Chaos wanting the other ball more than the one that you're playing with. If anything, I wanted to know that I've got the game here. So yes, she's found that one, but it's find that one, and then that's the game. It's not go back and go off self-employed hunting. I don't want a self-employed hunter. And I think that's really important when we're looking at whether that's agility, obedience, gun dog, whatever it is we're training. We don't want a dog who goes off without necessarily having a cue to do that, because that's where I think with spaniels you do get in trouble, and definitely some of the labs, some of the dogs where they start to go off self-employed. Match, super. So I wouldn't play that a lot of times with her. Once on something like that would be absolutely fine, and then playing games here, because already you can see how easy it is for her to get fixated on other toys, and I don't want to create an issue there with that. Also notice I've played that game on lead. I don't think I have to play that on the game on lead, but I think I limit the opportunity to go off and reinforce herself. She's quite an obedient little dog, and she's quite naturally, she loves these games. But I also don't want to give her, when I'm chatting to you guys, I don't want to give her a moment to just bog off and get back in there and start hunting again. And with a dog this quick, they will. So they will go off and something will flutter and they're gone. So just being aware of that, be mindful of that in between. We're going to head straight over to the tent to show you exactly the same game, but different scenario. So same again here. I'm not going to necessarily coax her and reward her off it, but I'm not going to let her get it either. I think it's important you say where and when. So it's, can we find the specific toy? At this stage I'm throwing in. Super girl, Madge, that was very
Now again,
clever.
we're adding in a layer of difficulty, and that she's got to go into something, right? This is that stepping stone into going into like heavy cover, where she's got to actually get involved and get in there. And often what we tend to do is fall into the trap of thinking that in order to train something, we have to train in the situation. We have to immediately go to the very distracting, complex environment and throw something in a bush. So actually, you could play this anywhere.
For me, this is confidence, this is grit, this is good tenacity, this is good sort of energy. Now, a couple of things as a layer. I've seen many dogs walk in there and want to just sniff a wee. If you haven't got a really good retrieve, do not even try it. I know it's a sexy ball pit. I know there's loads of cool colours. I know that is an attractive thing to play. If your dog doesn't have a really hot retrieve, do not. It makes no sense, because all you'll do is you'll poison it for later on. So it's an idea, it's something for probably most of you to take away with you. But before we do it, let's assess the retrieve and let's check the retrieve is really hot first, because if they're not focused, they will go in there and sniff around and not be on the job. You need them on the job. I've put in something unique, which is her tennis ball, into a load of balls that are not her tennis ball. And I think that's the key one.